All right, so Fire Force, I think is
Okay, so
next on
I'm
my
loving it.
list.
I'm loving it. I'm
Nice.
loving it. I'm getting it's giving me so much. And I was talking to my friend the other day because he was like, "Oh, well, what are you watching?" There's like no anime right now to watch. And I was like, "You
That
fucking
is a lie.
idiot. What are you talking about?" I was like, "You're probably just impatient." No, not probably. He's impatient. Like he wants like the My Hero Academia treatment like for every single fucking anime. And I was like, "Everything's not shonen." Or everything is not that kind of shonen. Like the pacing is different. They're going for different resolutions. Like you can't expect that with everything. And he was like, "Yeah, the first season was so boring, and I just couldn't get through it." And I was like, "Well, I just want to let you know that everything in the first season is paying the fuck off so much right now. It is just so good. It's so good."
Right. So in this episode, we're still in the Oasis. We're learning a lot more about the technology behind Amaterasu. These
Mm-hmm.
uh,
The alternate world
right.
or like the spatial rift.
We're getting introduced to, I think, the what you can probably call like the secret history that is hinted at in the first season. So if you recall the way the episodes in the first season were set up, in the
Uh
beginning
huh.
you would get about like a 15 to 20-second intro that would talk
Yeah.
about the was it the prophet or whatever coming out of the rift in the area that they're now exploring, um, and then bringing like the Amaterasu technology to Japan, or the light of Amaterasu, founding the
Yeah.
religion that they all follow. And so it's interesting that they, for this season, they've taken away those little like short intro clips, but they're actually diving into a lot of the material they talked about in the first season. And I would actually
I completely forgot about those
right. I was gonna
clips.
say I suspect that even people who were fans of the show were skipping the beginning, and
Oh, I
so
was. Yeah.
missed a lot of the fact that like this is foreshadowed. All of this is foreshadowed, or talked about almost explicitly uh, in the first season. So there's more to the, they're just paying off a lot of stuff that they were bringing up in the first place.
Yeah. I also like to see the power difference with the demon compared to them because every other time that there's been a demon, they've had a way to deal with it, or they've had someone with the firepower to deal with it, and it looks like that's just not going to be the case this time,
Right.
like at all. And none of them are really on Shinra's level. I don't really know what Ogun can do. But it looks from the episode preview that bitch is a fucking monster with the the flame body tattoos and shit. I'm just like, just
Right. And again, none of this is out of nowhere because we've spent now almost 2.5 seasons or 2.25 seasons explaining that these the demon infernals are actually too much for anyone to handle on their own, unless you're like
yeah,
Benimaru.
exact.
So
And then you
it's not
have
like power scaling out of control. We've known this.
Yeah, and then you have like other infernals that still have their like state of mind and can speak that aren't demons. And so it's just like, okay, so what's going on? Cuz they did have the one in the very beginning of the first season, but that really wasn't expanded upon. Like Hibana did experiments on him and he came back and Arthur fucking whopped his ass in one hit.
Right.
But that was the end of that one. Like, but now they're out there. So like, how long have these guys been there? And then also the Demon Inferno that they're fighting. He has one of the Evangelist cloaks, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, and but they didn't even mention that yet. Or maybe they're just too shocked to have noticed it. But I'm like, you guys came here to get more info on why like the White Clads have a leg up on everybody, and I don't know. And then they have the reveal with Arthur at the very, very end. There's just a lot happening, but it's not like overwhelming. It's just like I'm getting answers and I'm having new questions. But the main thing is that I'm just engaged. Like I just really want to know what's going on. I think Shinra's over eagerness is about to bite him in the ass,
Yeah.
big
And
time.
they're in a position
I
again
feel it
where
coming.
there's no help coming. So the
Yeah,
resolution to what we're seeing has got to come from essentially the pieces that are already on the board here.
yeah,
I think I had mentioned sort of the beginning of our coverage for this season is that Fire Force, the material that's being adapted now is where you sort of get into, and I say this all the time, you get into the weird shit. The stuff that supports all of the lore, you sort of got hints of it before, but now you're leaning into it for your story. Like, the story is now directly being driven by all of like the Adola research and the links and where's the power come from, and diving into the history of the Great Fire, and it only accelerates from here. So much like those little like 20-second clips that were running that a lot of people missed, if someone is a watcher or wants to be a watcher, is interested in the series, this is a place where actually you need to pay more attention, because everything that's covered here becomes more important as you go forward. So I like what they're doing. The pacing is a little bit slowed down from the very beginning, even though that first bit covered about like a few hours of a fight, and now they're kind of like traversing over large parts of the country. But at the same time, this is a cool component, and I think the world building just grows from here. So I'm very, very happy and pleased about what they've done, and it looks great and it sounds great. So what can you complain about?
Agreed.